now. All right. All right. Here we go. And I think we're doing well. Could be louder. Okay. Well, I've got a dedicated mic for it. Hey, everybody on YouTube. I'm just getting set up here. So I appreciate you joining. I see Brian Carlson and my main man, Steve, on YouTube. And there's that Tim Watson. What's going on, bruh? Okay. I'm also streaming on Facebook at the same time. I'm on my personal. I should have done it on my hiking guy. Anyway, so I'll be looking over here sometimes at Facebook, and I'll be looking at you on YouTube. Yeah, that did come out wrong. Anyway, so I will get started here. Basically, I'm just trying this out. I wanted to see. I get a lot of questions after every hike and every video I post. And basically, I kind of doing this the same reason that a lot of folks do it is you don't like answering the same questions over and over, but you also want to have an interaction with your audience. So that's basically what I'm doing here. So really, I'm going to talk a little bit about my most recent hike and most recent video, and then I'm going to shut up and we're going to have some Q&A. We're going to have some interaction, if that's all right. So let me just kind of get started and talk a little bit about where we went this weekend. Now, Brian Carlson is on. He was with me on this adventure. And basically, we went back out to a place called the Charles C. Dean Wilderness, which is, hey, Jim. Charles C. Dean Wilderness, which is near Bloomington, Indiana. And it is a very big place, and it's not been a wilderness that long, only since 1986. So we went to a place called the Axum Branch Trail, and off of that Axum Branch Trail is some stone cabin ruins that we camped by. So if you saw the video, you saw I kind of tried to feature it a little bit. And interesting point about that is those stone cabin ruins. I actually called the Forest Service today because I was looking for information in anticipation of this. But the stone cabin ruins, even the Forest Service doesn't know who really owned them. It had electricity, so it's not that old. But I talked to the lady today at the Forest Service, and she said that they are actually doing an archaeological. Can't say it. They're working with an archaeologist to determine who owned that cabin. They are also possibly going to shut down that area for camping because of all the widespread disturbance from recreation use. So, and we'll get into that a little later. Basically, a lot of people are leaving trash out there, and we tried to pick up a little bit. We tried to burn some. We tried to do our part, but there's some big pieces out there that we couldn't fix. Anyway. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what we did this weekend. And I took out a new tarp, and I actually tested out a lot of gear. I tested out MSR Pocket Rocket 2. Yes, Rashid. Rashid said they were supposed to remove anything man-made when it becomes a designated wilderness, and I can't see the rest of that. So basically. I tested out a lot of gear. I took out an MSR Pocket Rocket 2. I took out my Moronive Garberg and my Hammock gear tent, or not tarp. Sorry, tarp. I can't talk today. And I tried out a new way of making coffee. Recently made a video about the ways that I make coffee while I'm camping. Let me show you this. I hope this will work. I'm going to show you this. It's kind of a looped video of what I used when I made coffee.
Hold that here, but
see if you guys can see this. This is a GSI. I'm sorry. This is a GSI Java drip, and this thing is light as a feather.
Bag.
Let me know if you can see that in the chat. Can you guys see that all right? Anyway, this is a looped video, and
Fine.
Facebook, you probably can't see this because it's on YouTube. So, let's check the chat.
In a 15-degree bag.
Okay, you can see it. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry if I'm talking too fast, too. But yeah, so I used this thing, and this thing was awesome. It folds up flat. You can put it inside that that Toast titanium cup, and store your filters in there, and so it's kind of cool. Yeah, and this was in the video too. Thanks, bud. All right, so I'm gonna turn that off. So anyway, so basically, I did a lot of testing. 1 second here. If you're not familiar with the Moranai Garbird, it's basically it's an awesome knife, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. I still have my pack. I haven't unpacked it. Here it is right here. And the thing I like about it is it actually has a really thick, sorry Facebook. It actually has a really thick spine to it. So, and it's full tang, so you can baton your wood a lot easier and not have to worry about it breaking. So this worked out very well. So tried that out. Now, oh yeah, they also, that's right, Jim, they also have a, I was looking at that as well. They, GSI also has a coffee press, and they also have a manual, a really light manual coffee grinder I might be able to take on a through hike with me. And if that's the case, then that just solves, I mean, that's just fresh coffee the whole time, which I'm pretty excited about. Okay, so some of the questions that I usually get is something like, how do you find trails? What kind of gear do you use? I mean, I get the same ones that everybody gets, honestly. And it is something, answering them over and over, you're just kind of like, I just need to make one video. So right now I'm using a Clark Jungle hammock, and I love that hammock. And I will say, this weekend I had the best, I don't know if I'm getting better at it, if it's just that I changed the suspension, but I had the best sleep I've had in a hammock in a long time. And I got to give credit where credit is due. My man Steve from Adventure Outdoors, he actually turned me on to these, and it was he suggested it. He let me lay in his, and then I did some research afterwards. But yeah, I'd say he really turned me on to those. The only thing I don't like about them is they're a little heavy, they're a little bulky, and so that's why I'm deciding to go to the Dream Hammock Raven. I'm going to do that for a couple of reasons. Less bulk, it only weighs 1.5 pounds, and let's talk about truck camping. Well, I'm going to do those too. But we can do that. We can talk about truck camping if you like. If you're interested in it. What do you want to know about truck camping? What made me get into it? Well, it's kind of a natural progression from the van, when I had my van. The van thing, when my friend Jen and I went out west, man, the van just drove like a coal car. I mean, I had it up to like 11,000 feet, which it had no business being there. Now, it had plenty of room, but we brought a bunch of stuff, and so obviously, we filled that room. And that's all right. We can go there. We can go there, Tim. I'm going to go there. So, basically, that's what made me want to get into it. I was like, the van, The van was great for that trip, but my friend Brian Gallion at Colorado Backcountry Adventures, I love his setup, and I'm actually gonna go camping with him this summer. And so I've always been envious of his setup, and so I basically tried to mirror a lot of what he's done, and so that's pretty much, between the van debacle and Brian's inspiration, that's what made me want to get into it. Now I'm still working on my build. Obviously, there's some other things I've got to work on it, but that's why. All right, so a little bit back to this. Why could you see yourself living the truck life instead of van life? Full time, that's really what I want to do. That's really what I want to do, Tim, honestly. Steve, did you use a pad inside the hammock along? Yeah, so that's a good point. My setup was pretty much overkill. I had a hammock gear underquilt. I had an insulated pad, and then I also had a 0-degree bag, and that's why it was so warm. And of course, the Clark hammock has the overcover, and so when you combine all those things, it was like 20. It got down to 25 degrees, but man, I was just toasty warm in there. I thought about a different brand of hammock, but I have too much invested in my Hennessy. Yeah, I feel you there, bud. I feel you there, bud. I mean, I have quite a lot invested in the Clark. The thing about it is, though, the Clark is, I think it's 2 pounds, and then the tarp for it is actually a little heavier. It's like almost 2.5 pounds. So the reason I went with the Hammock Gear Cuban fiber tarp was I was able to shave 1.5 pounds there, and then the reason I'm going to the Raven is I'll be able to shave another 0.5 pound off my total weight. I'm trying to get a base weight down, and wish me luck, but I'm trying to get a base weight down to possibly around 10 or sub 10, which if any of you guys have ever been on a trip with me and you've seen what I bring, you know that that's going to be a stretch, because extra batteries, cameras, too many tripods. I bring stuff I don't need. So that is that is one of those things that I really have to work on, especially for the through hike that I have coming up, which is between 40 and 50 miles. It's straight up and down. Oh, Jim, hey, checking out the Raven website now. Not bad, not bad. Yep. I've been checking the order status every day for my hammock. I just got a new overcover, which is only 4.5 ounces. Nice, bud. That's nice. So basically, yeah, I just you brought 17 pounds of camera gear when we went to Linville. Yes, I did, but I got the shot. I did get the shot. Oh, what's the through hike? It's called, it's in Indiana. It's called the Knobstone Trail, and it's basically one of the trails that a lot of people in Indiana use to train for the AT. Its elevation profile is like this. I mean, for about 40 or 50 miles. Is that what you use, Brian? The shell to we half shell? Was that what I know you were talking about the Chill Gorilla tarp? I saw that, but I guess I didn't put together that's what your hammock was. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing the AT for any foreseeable future, but pretty much until I retire. But yeah. What is your favorite season to hammock camp? I like the fall, and I like the sweet spot that's coming up. There's a period of about 2 or 3 weeks that is going to come up, and it is between spring and summer, and that sweet spot is great. And then fall, of course. I mean, you just can't beat when it's, you know, a little bit chilly out. And this is a good time too when we're coming out of winter. Pretty much any time, really, Mike, is what I'm trying to get at. Pretty much any time except summer. I absolutely hate summer because I don't like bugs, because I don't like the overgrowth of the trail. Spiders make me nervous. Bud Anderson, Caveman Outdoors, make sure you look him up on Facebook, says, with my new undercover, our cover and underpad, I should be able to go sub-zero. So, that's awesome, dude. Bud's always good for a laugh. So I do want to mention also, there was a couple of guys who are YouTubers who were with me this weekend. And one of them is, of course, Brian, who's in the chat, Brian Carlson Adventures. And so he makes, you need to go over there and show him some love. He makes really good videos. And the other one, who just showed up, was Brian West 58. Brian West 58, if you watch my video, his grandson was the one singing "We Will Rock You," and that little dude, man, he was a trooper. He was so cute, and we watched him basically fall asleep in the chair by the fire, and I can't blame him because it was just a great night. But yeah, so go give Brian West 58 some love. Go give Caveman Outdoors some love. Go give Carlson Adventures some subscribe, love, and of course, as always, I mean, my good buddy Steve and Tim, give them Texas Hikeaholics. So just give everybody love. What the hell? So, any other questions? And like I said, this is my first try at this, so if I've been babbling, I apologize. But I'm just getting a feel for it. The kid, yeah, that's Brian West. Yeah, his name is the Dawson. That's his name. Oh, I should also mention the guy with the road flare. His name was Jake. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Jake. So we have all been here as far as you know, just starting out, just trying to learn what works and what doesn't with equipment and stuff like that. We've all been there. And Jake, first of all, he hiked in with, he was using those big concrete workers galoshes, and he was just he said he was comfortable. He said he was okay, but he hiked in those. And then when we got to camp and we set up, he used a Eureka Solitaire, which I had one of those, the nylon coffin. I had one of those. So he had one of those. And then he came to me with his sleeping bag, and he said, hey, look at my sleeping bag. Well, his sleeping bag was a 40-degree rated synthetic, and it was this thin. And, I mean, it was just really thin. And all I said to him, I said, you and I are going to discuss the sleeping bag in the morning, because you kind of have to learn trial by fire in that regard. So when he got up in the morning, I said, hey man, how'd you sleep? He goes, froze my ass off. So I just thought it was funny, because the average age of the group with us was 40s and 50s, and here's this young 27-year-old kid, but he was a great kid. He got firewood. He helped us get firewood. He helped start, with the road flare. And so he was a great dude. And he really wanted to learn. He was asking both the Bryans about their setups. And so there was some instruction going. And that warmed the cockles of my heart, because that's, mentoring another generation of outdoor enthusiasts is, that's what it's all about. So, anyway, I just had to tell you about him, because that was awesome. Oh, I forgot. I did that too. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I tried out my Ultra Lone Peak 3.5s. And so I guess I've heard that they take some getting used to, and luckily this hike was only, it wasn't even, it was like 1.6 miles. It wasn't anything. So what I noticed with those is that, and Tim had warned me about my Achilles, but that didn't necessarily hurt my calves. My calves were really burning at the end of it, especially when we went back up some switchbacks. The ultras, I will say the jury's still out on them, but as far as light, as far as traction, they were awesome. I think once I get used to them, once I actually start doing some trail running in them, I think they will be great. And sorry, Facebook, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just also over here on YouTube. So in case you just joined, I'm not trying to ignore you. I kind of am. So that's what happened with the 3.5s. It was pretty great, except for my calves. Okay, so seriously, the package from Hennessy says Sub-Zero. You can't go Sub-Zero, bud. What negative? What do you levitate? You can't do that. You got to heal up your hernia first, dude. Okay, anybody else got any other questions? I'm rambling at this point. I'm open this. Give me some more questions, because this is I enjoy this. This is kind of exciting to talk to you guys, or to talk at you, rather. No? Okay. Okay. I understand. All right, well, food. What did I take? Oh. Dude, why didn't... No. Okay, well, I'll address... So the food... I'm actually, this was my last trip, and I'm sorry, Tim, but this was my last trip using Mountain House, because, and I did the Mountain House beef stew, which actually was very good, and because I'm going to start dehydrating my own backpacking food. I bought a dehydrator a long time ago, and I have yet to open it, and it's got 12 trays and bells and whistles, and I go overboard on everything. But I'm going to start dehydrating my own backpacking food, and I'm going to take that on the through hike, but I'm going to try and get it done. I'm going to try and get it done before the Red River Gorge in 2 weeks. Do you take a white noise machine with you on your camp? No, and like Brian is saying in the chat, we had a symphony of snores, farts, and grunts. So I mean, there's your white noise. Between 9 guys, I mean, there was just all kinds of white noise going on. So that no, I don't. I do think those white noise things are great, and maybe I would use one. Maybe I would use one while I was truck camping, though, so I might have to use Steve's affiliate link to make him a couple of dollars on it. Let's see. Brian West is going to Red River Gorge. Awesome. Top of the night from Southern Indiana. Hey, Ulrich 7925. If money wasn't an option, where in the world would you hike? I would go to Machu Picchu. I would go to Patagonia. And I would go wherever the hell I wanted. Honestly, if I do decide to get on the road in a few years, like I'm hoping to, anywhere in the U.S. really, except the East Coast. I'm not real keen on going east. I want to go west. But and then Latin America, Iceland. Everybody wants to go to Iceland, right? I would love to go there. Just anywhere. I'd love to do the Stairway to Heaven in Ohio. Ohio. There's no Stairway to Heaven in Ohio. I'd love to do the Stairway to Heaven in Hawaii. It's forbidden. It's illegal. But the views from that just look awesome. So, yes. The El Camino. I don't know that I'm brave enough. Although this this summer. So some of my plans for the summer, I'm going to Banff in Canada, and I'm also going to do the Crypt Lake Trail. And the Crypt Lake Trail is kind of scary as well. I mean, oh my goodness. It's because I said something about your white noise machine, isn't it? Thanks, Steve. Thanks, bruh. I'll use that to buy one of your t-shirts in triple XL. I'll use that $5 for the channel. Thank you, man. So anyway, I'm going to the Crypt Lake Trail, and the Crypt Lake Trail is this trail that you have to take a water taxi to the trailhead. Then you go 5 miles up. You go 5 miles up the mountain, basically, and it has chains, and it's got a narrow path. And then you go through a cave, and at the end of that cave is a glacier-fed lake. And that, ever since I went on the Blue Lakes Trail last year with my friend Jen, I've just been obsessed with glacier-fed lakes. So that's why I'm going to Banff. That's why I'm going to do that trail. And that's also why I'm going back to the Blue Lakes Trail this year. And I'm going to hammock camp there. And I'm going to go up to the second and third lake. And that's the place where we saw the bear. So if anyone knows me, you know that my love of bears just is endless. So I'm going back to a place where I know there's a bear, and I'm going to hammock camp alone with a shotgun, probably. So anyway, so that's some of my plans. I'm also going to probably trying to get to the Grand Canyon and Sedona this year. Got that in the works. Dolly Sods. I know. Check Yoho on the other side of me. Okay, I will, Jim. Hey, Texas Hikeaholics. Sorry I didn't see you there. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Dolly Sods. Multiple trips to Red River Gorge. At the end of the month, I'm actually gonna hang out with some other YouTubers in Ohio. I've been invited there, which I thought was very nice. My buddy Lance over at the Outland channel. He invited me to hang out with. I think Restless Outdoors is one of them. I think SBO Outdoors maybe. So these are all guys that know way more than I do, and it will be a humbling experience to even be in their presence, but it'll be cool. So, anywho, okay, well, I think I've rambled, so let's get me some more questions, or we can end this, because it's been about half an hour. What's your best bear story? You know that one, Tim. I will tell it for those who don't. I went to the Red River Gorge, and I did a solo hammock trip, and I was on the wilderness side, because there's a spot that's more less traveled. So I was over there and got all set up, and it was, got in bed, got in the hammock, and everything was good. And then about midnight, I heard something. I heard something basically running through my camp, and I unzipped the cover of my hammock, and then I looked. Oh, dude, Brian, thanks, man. Thanks for the $5 you owe me. I'm kidding. Thank you, dude. So I unzipped my hammock, and I looked out to see this furry brown butt running by me. Now, I'll be honest, that's not the first time I've seen that, but in the wild it is. And so that scared me a lot, and I packed up my stuff and I hiked back to the van. And not only did I hike back to the van, which is about 3 or 4 miles, I left the state. I went back to Indiana, and I'm like, no, I'm done. Oh, dude. Hey, bud, yeah, try to get to the gorge, man, in 2 weeks. Oh, by the way, for any of you who don't know, I'm just going to throw this out there. I run a Facebook group called the Outdoor Adventure Life. And basically it's a closed group, and that's where a lot of these events I'm putting together for people to get together. It's really the reason I put it together is so I can get to know people and people can share their adventures and stuff like that. And I kind of rule it with an iron fist in the sense that there's no solicitation, there's no politics, there's no religion, it's a safe space for outdoor folks. And so if you want to join that, just do a search for that. There's 3 questions that you answer. There's 3 questions that you have to answer, and then I'll let you in. And you can share your videos, you can share your outdoor experiences, you can share stuff about gear, but I highly recommend it. And like I said, I do all kinds of events, at least one a month. This month it's 2, but I would love it if you join, and if you want to. I'd love it if you join if you don't want to. Are you going to break out the famous air couch this summer? I put a hole in it, but I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to get a new one because that was like when you're sitting by the camp. That's like, well, you saw Steve. I was like really relaxed. I wouldn't get out of the thing. He's like, "Come on, let's go explore." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good, bruh." Thanks, Brian. Just want to say thanks for putting together the events. Dude, I enjoy it. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. We always have a blast. And the conversations around the campfire are ridiculous and inappropriate and the best ones I've ever had. Much better than the ones at work. So, what else? Running out of... I'm vamping here. What else you got? Is there anything else I can answer for you as far as future plans or anything like that? Now, I also know that not everybody likes live streams, so I anticipate that not everybody's going to like this video when it uploads, and that's fine. Not a problem. But I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy talking to you guys. That's why I go on to Tim's quite a bit, because I enjoy interacting with those folks as well on his. And I know Up Trail 71, he's going to be doing them now. So we all just going to be all live up in here. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Facebook, by the way. Thank you for hanging out. Of course you don't, Jen. Jen, my friend Jen is on Facebook. She says she doesn't like this video. Of course you don't. It's because I'm not paying attention to you, isn't it? Will there be a dress code? No, and I'm going to allow dogs again. I'm going to allow dogs again, so it should be for the Red River Gorge trip. As long as 4 of them who want to kill each other don't show up, I think we'll be all right. The Dean Lake Trailhead rework on an Opstone is pretty cool for those of you in the neck of the woods. Well, I'm getting ready to do that in May. So, are they all done with it, Ulrich? Or are they still working on it? Yeah, please wear clothes, Brian. All right. Well, oh, they are still working on it. Okay. Knock. Well, it will be. The only reason I didn't allow on this last one, Bud, is because we had 4 dogs who just were going at each other, and it was too loud, and it kind of took away from the experience. So I just wanted to have one without dogs. So, and in the Red River Gorge, the camping area near Hanson's Point is large enough that we can spread out. So I think we'll be okay. I don't think that'll be a problem. Hey, Greg. Knock, knock. So, if none of you have been to Hanson's Point, I know Tim, I know you have, and I know Brian Carlson, you have. Hanson's Point, man, when I went there, it was just awesome. I had the best night, and it's really, really awesome to see. So that's the event in 2 weeks. We're going there. And Steve, that was one of the places I was going to take you to when you come down. But we're going to go somewhere else now. So, somewhere cool. Don't worry. And it's not going to be that arch I tried to find twice. All right. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. This is the first try, and I think it went very well. I think I appreciate all the participation. I hope I didn't bore anybody. Who had the best setup? It depends. Brian West has the same setup every time, just about. I mean, he uses about the same tent now. Brian Carlson, Hammock-wise, had the best setup. How many campsites are there on the peninsula? There's a few. There's I'd say there's about 6 up and down the coast. About 6 of them, yeah. Hey, thanks, Barb, if that is Barb. And thanks, Tim. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And next trip I have, I'll probably do another one of these, and I'll probably do a dedicated one for truck camping as well. I'm going to try to do both with all the famous people. I know, right? I mean, you can't get adventure outdoors anywhere. Okay, thanks, guys. See you later. Peace.